students, let's get on with this homework. I got all the odd ones as usual. 3 inches per 5 years. Well, this is pretty easy. We got 30 over 5. That's 30 divided by 5, and that equals 6. Right? So that's going to be 6 inches per every 1 year. And the unit rate tells us what 1 is. Number 3, I got 8,750 steps every 1.25 hours. I'll take 8,750 and I'm going to divide it. Wow, sorry about that. 8,750. And I'm going to divide it by 1.25. I remember that I have to move my decimal 2 places, which means I'm going to move this decimal 2 places. And now I can use my calculator. This is going to give me 875,000 divided by 125. That gives me 7,000. So the answer here is 7,000 steps. Every hour. All right. And let's go ahead and get to number 5. Find the sum. To do this, I'm going to see, I'm adding here, so I can take all of my terms that are like terms and put them together. So over here, I'm going to put 4.3. I'm going to minus 2.1. And then over here, I'm going to add 6.7 to negative 7.3. They are like terms. They end the same. So 3 plus 7 is 0. Carry the 1, right? Because that's 10. Carry the 1. And then 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 plus 1 is 14. All right? Since that's 0.0, I can get rid of the 0.0. Wow. Let's try that again. I get rid of this 0.0 and make it just 14. All right, something weird's happening here. All right. There we go. And now I can take, oh, I'm sorry, that is not the way we do this. We have a negative number and a positive number. So that means I'm going to have to take the big number minus the small number. Keep the sign of the big number. The big number is negative. So now I'm going to have to borrow 1. So I can take 13 minus 7. 13 minus 7 is 6. So I have a 0.6 here. So this would be negative 0.6. And now I can bring the W down. That's my variable. So now I've got to minus 2.1 from 4.3. 3 minus 1 is 2. And 4 minus 2 is 2. The big number is positive, so this would be a positive 2.2. W minus 0.6. All right, I'm going to number 7 now. It says evaluate the expression 3 over 2 to the 3rd power. So this is like 3 over 2 times 3 over 2 times 3 over 2. Remember, exponent means we're going to multiply this number to itself this many times. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So we have 27 over 8. When I simplify this, 8 goes into 27 3 times, and then that leaves 3 left over. So it's 3 3/8. Number 9 has a negative in front over here with 4/7 to the second power. That means this negative stays in front. And this is 4/7 times 4/7. Well, that's going to equal, remember that negative sign's in front, 4 times 4 is 16, and 7 times 7 is 49. All right, and I don't believe there's any number that goes into these numbers here, so we're moving on to number 11. Number 11 says, which is longer, 1 inch or 2 centimeters? I'm going to have to find a unit scale for this, so hold on. All right, according to what I found on the internet, the value of 1 inch is approximately equal to 2.54 centimeters. So, which is longer, 1 inch or 2 centimeters? It looks to me that 1 inch is longer because it's equal to 2.54, and 2.54 is more than 2. So I'm going to go with 1 inch. Because, and I'm going to type this, because, let's see, 2 is less than 2.54. All right. Let's see. Well, actually, this is 1 inch. So, yeah, 2 is still less than 1 inch, right, is going to be 1.54. So that is greater than the centimeters. All right, let's go to number 13. Copy and complete, round to the nearest hundredth. To the nearest hundredth, I want to take 14 meters to feet. So I'm going to have to find a unit measure for meters to feet. Well, I'm doing 14 meters to feet, and I found this conversion here. It states that 1 meter is 3.28 feet. So when it says 14 meters, I'm going to multiply 1 to 14, which means I multiply 3.28 to 14, and that's going to give me 45.92 feet. All right. So when it says 14 meters is equal to, well, it's going to be equal to 45.92 feet. All right, let's go to number 15. Number 15, I found this to help us out. And this says that 1 pound is equal to 0.45 kilograms. So if I want to know what 64 pounds is, I'll multiply it to 1, which means I have to multiply 0.45 to 64. That gives me 28.8. Now, that means that 64 pounds is equal to 28.8 kilograms. All right, time for number 17. Number 17 here says that I have 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. So if I'm going to know what 75.2 inches is, I'll multiply that to 1. And that means I have to multiply 75.2 to 2.54. That'll give me 191.01. That means that 75.2 inches is about 191.01 centimeters. Let's go on to number 19. They want 15 centimeters. What are the inches? Well, we just said that inches to centimeter was 1 to 2.54. So 15 centimeters, which means I would take 1 and multiply it to 15 to give me 15. This is centimeters to inches, right? And this was inches to centimeters. So this time we're taking centimeters, right, which is 15, and we're going to have to go ahead. What do I multiply to 2554 to get to 15? I'm going to have to divide. So I'll take 15 and divide it by 2.54. And that gives me this number, which I will have to multiply to 1. So does it tell me to round up to the nearest anything? Round to the nearest hundredth. Okay. So if I'm rounding to the nearest hundredth, hundredth is here. This is a 5, so it'd be 5.91. So 5.91. Inches. Now, the other way to do this is to recognize it did say up here to round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. If I'm going to do that, and this is probably going to give me a slightly different answer than what I got, I could also take 1 and divide it by 2.54. Because remember, centimeters is going to be up here, inches is going to be over here. So 1 divided by 2.54. If we round in the nearest hundredth, that's going to be 0.39. Right? So that would mean that for every 1 centimeter, it's going to be equal to 1, was that 1.39? No, 3.9 inches. Is it 0.39? 0.39, sorry about that. 0.39 inches. And then I would have to multiply 1 to 15 to get 15 centimeters. Which means I would have to multiply 0.39 to 15. That's a different way of doing it. We should get close to the same answer. Let's see. I'm going to take 0.39 and multiply it to 15. That's going to give me 5.85. Okay, and as you can see, that's very close to what we had over here, 5.91. They're very close. All right, let's go to number 21. Represent the relationship between each pair of units in the coordinate plane feet to meters. I'm going to have to find that. All right, so this is what I found, that 1 foot is about 0.3 meters. Knowing this, let's see here, 2 feet then is about 0.6 meters. They want me to go ahead and represent the relationship of each pair in a coordinate plane. So I got to make a graph with this. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to make my graph really simple. And there are many ways to make this graph, but this is the way I plan to do it. We've got, looks like in foot, so I'm going to put my feet down here. And I'm going to put my Meters over here, 0.3 meters, okay? These are a little off, so I'm going to try to fix them here. All right, that looks a little closer to what I should have. All right, and then I'm going to label it as so because it says feet to meters. I know 1 foot, I could put 1 here, 2 feet here, 3 feet here, and 4 feet here. Then I could put 0.3 meters here. That would make this 0.6 meters, and this 0.9 meters, and this 0.12 meters. And since my line is going straight through these, I could go ahead and put this straight through all these coordinates. Okay? All right. Let's go to number 22. Oh, I'm sorry, I have 23. Copy and complete the statement round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. This says 6 quarts equal how many liters? I'm going to have to find that. Okay, what I found out was 0.95 liters is equal to 1 quart. Remember, we're trying to find out what 6 quarts are. And let's see, that's going to give me, that's liters to quarts, right? So I'm going to have to go ahead and multiply this 0.95 times 6 because I'm taking away my quarts, and that'll tell me how many liters I've got. So this is going to be 6 times 0.95. That's going to give me 5.7 liters. All right, let's try number 5. We've got liters to gallons here. So I'm going to have to find out what liters are to gallons. And I found that 0.26 gallons is equal to 1 liter. Remember, I have 5 liters here. I want to go ahead and cross off my liters. Now I have 5 times 0.26. Well, 0.26 times 5 gives me 1.3. So that's 1.3 gallons. All right, number 27, I got liters to gallons again. This time I got 22 liters and how many gallons. But I also have hours to minutes here. Okay, I got minutes to hours. So I could change this up, but I'm going to have to find the hours to minutes as well. And what I found was this. Oops, sorry about that. So let's examine this. I have 22 liters per minute. That's 22 liters in 1 minute. Then I want to find out how many gallons per hour, right? So I know there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So I'm going to have to take my minutes away, and that leaves me 1 times 1, which is 1, right? 1 hour. And then I'll take 22 and multiply it to 60 for liters. Well, 22 divided times 60, excuse me. 22 times 60, that's going to give me 1,322 liters time, oh, I put times 62, I'm sorry. 22 times 60. That's going to give me 1,320 liters, right? But we want to know how many gallons. So now I'm going to take that 1,320 liters and multiply it to, well, remember we said there's 0.26 gallons for every liter. So that's going to allow me to get rid of my liters. And now 1,320 times 0.26 gives me 343.2 gallons. All right, let's go ahead and do number 29. Your friend converts 8 liters to 6 quarts. Is your friend correct? Explain the reasoning. They said 8 liters equals 8 liters times 1.06 quarts. So they were going to have to get rid of the liters and multiply 8 times 1.06. 1.06 times 8 will give us 848 quarts. Okay? So that tells you whose work is correct because we have 8.48 quarts left over. And that was decimal is in the right place. Yes, 8.48. All right, let's go to number 31. 31 says copy and complete the statement using greater than or less than, excuse me, less than or greater than. Is 30 ounces less than or greater than 8 kilograms? I need to find out how many ounces is in a kilogram. Well, I found this to help us out. We see here that we have 8 kilograms, right? And we know that 1 pound is equal to 0.45 kilograms. So we're going to eliminate the kilograms. We also know that 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. This enables us to get rid of the pound. Now we got to multiply everything together. I've got 8 times 16 times 1. 8 times 1 times 16. I have 0.45 times 1. That's going to give me 0.45. So now let's go ahead and work this problem here. Make sure the book gave us the right answer. I have 8 times 1 times 16. That's 128. And I already know anything times 1 is itself, so this is 0.45. And now I have to see what is 128 divided by 0.45. Well, 128 divided by 0.45 gives me, it looks like 284.4 repeating. That's what they have here. So is 30 ounces bigger or less than 8 kilograms? We know that this is going to be 284 ounces, right? So I'm going to say that this is less than this. Because 30 ounces is not bigger than 284 ounces. Let's go to number 33 now. I found this information for 33. And I know you're going to have to look up some of this stuff online, but I know you're capable of it. I know that 3 gallons, okay, if I have 3 gallons here, I know 4 quarts equal a gallon. And I know that 0.95 liters is equal to 1 quart. So I can cross off my gallons because gallons is on the top over here and the bottom over here. I can cross up my quarts because I have quarts on the top and bottom. Remember, whenever you want to eliminate a unit, make sure you got one on the top and one on the bottom. Now I have 3 times 4 times 0.95 liters. And I have 1 times 1 times 1. That's going to be 1. So 3 times 4 times 0.95. 3 times 4 times 0.95 will give us 11.4 And then look, the only thing left here is liters. So what is bigger? Well, I'm thinking 11.4 liters is bigger than 6 liters, right? So this is going to be greater than. Let's do number 35, pounds to gallons, pounds to gallon. And I found this information for that. I know that I'm going to take 12,000 gallons. I know that 1 kilogram is 1,000 gallons. And I know that 1 pound is 0.45 kilograms. So once again, I can go ahead and put a 1 underneath this 1,200. I'm going to cross out my G because there's a G on top and bottom. I'm going to cross out my kilograms because there's a kilogram on top and bottom. Now 12,000 times 1 times 1, pound. And I have 1 times 1,000 times 0.45. That's going to give me 1,000 times 0.45. All right. Now I got to take 12,000 and divide it by 1,000 times 0.45. Well, let's figure out what that is first. So 1,000 times 0.45, that's going to give me 450. So this is equal to 450 on the bottom, and of course 1,200 on top. Now every fraction is a division problem, so I've got to take 1,200 and divide it by 450. This will give me 2.6 repeating. As everyone sees there, when I round it up, it'd be 2.7. And the pounds are there, so it's 2.67 pounds. All right, let's go ahead and see, that was 35. So it looks like I have 37. Thunder is the sound crackling caused by lightning. You hear thunder 5 seconds after a lightning strike. The speed of sound is about 1,225 kilometers per hour. So that's 1,225 kilometers for every 1 hour. Says thunder is called, you hear the thunder 5 seconds after the lightning strike, okay? About how many miles away was the lightning? Wow, okay. So this is the speed of sound, is this many kilograms per hour. How many miles away was the lightning? I found this little information to help me out. So we took that information, 1,225 kilograms per hour. We multiplied it. Remember, we're trying to find out how many miles away. So 1 hour equals 60 minutes. I know that 1 minute equals 60 seconds. This is important because we said you hear thunder 5 seconds after the lightning strike, right? And then we know that 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. And this was kilometers here. We need to get rid of that. Okay, let's go ahead and see what this equals. Well, we're going to cross off the kilometers because we see that we had kilometers here and we had it here. We're going to cross out the minutes because it's here and here. We're going to cross out the hours here and here. Now we have 1,225 times 1 times 1. That's 1,225. We also have 1 times 60 times 60 times 1.61. That's going to equal 5,796 seconds. Notice seconds was the only unit left. So when we take 1,225 and divide it by 5,796, we get 0.21. So this is 0.21 miles for every second. Remember, we said you hear the lightning 5 seconds after the lightning strike. So the sound of thunder travels at 0.21 miles per second. If the time was 5 seconds, then the lightning struck about 0.21 times 5, which is 1.05 miles away. Wow. That was a lot of work for a little bit of answer. I've got one more left and then the rest of yours. It says convert currency. Use the exchange rate of US dollars, which is about 0.79 British pounds, to convert between currencies. So they want to know what is 650 GBP. GBP is the British pound, right? Equals how much US currency? Well, we just said that we know that for every 0.79 in GBP, it equals $1. Now we're trying to find out how many dollars we're going to get here. So we do have 650 GBPs. So what I'm going to say is, well, I guess we should have put this upside down and put the GBP on the bottom and the dollars on top so we could eliminate it. So let me rewrite that. That'll be $1 is equal to 0.79 GBP. Okay, I'm going to erase this part here. And I'm going to remember that we have 650 GBP. And that's going to be over 1, right? So we're going to eliminate the GBP. And that tells us that we're going to have 650, okay, dollars, US dollars, right? USD over 0.79. So that means in our calculator, we're going to have to take 650 and divide it by 0.79. That's going to give us, looks like $822.78. So 822.78, 822.78 in US currency. And that was the last one that I have for the night. The rest are for you to do. Good luck, and I'll see you in class for grading tomorrow. Have a great night.